Hello and welcome. Time now for a look at what's making the headlines in the international papers. For that, I'm joined by our press reviewer, Caterina Vitozzi. Hello, Caterina.
Hello.
So we're starting in Syria, where the British daily The Guardian is leading with a story about the role of extremists in that conflict.
Absolutely. As you say on the front page of The Guardian, West rethink over Syria as extremism fears grow. Now, this is a very interesting piece about how countries like the US, the UK and France feel like they're losing their grip, losing influence over opposition groups in Syria themselves. They say there's concerns over the fact that it may be more militant Sunni Muslim groups who are really sort of some of the key players in the opposition movement now. So The Guardian looks at ways that the West could try and regain some of that control, some of that influence over these key groups that could be playing such a large part in Syria after the potential fall of the regime of Bashar al-Assad. Now, in the region itself, an interesting editorial piece in the Gulf News today about the meeting in Mecca of the Organisation for Islamic Cooperation. Now, the editorial doesn't so much focus on the content of the meeting itself. What it does draw out is just how important it is for a regional consensus on an approach to Syria, a really unified strategy on what next. Now, according to a piece in the Wall Street Journal, this solution really does have to come from the local and regional key players, because they say waiting for any sort of strategy from the West is going to be like waiting for Godot. That's the play on words they use. Waiting for Barack. They say that nothing is going to happen in the US with regards to Syria until after November's presidential election. So really quite a critical piece on the US president.
Solution is the only way. Now we're going to move to the Egyptian papers. There's been more reaction to President Mohamed Morsi's decision to force two of his top army generals to retire. So what are they saying about that?
Well, this has been the top story across many of the Egyptian dailies for the second day now. The front page of the Al-Masri Al-Yawm saying this is a safe transition for the army chiefs. Now, really quite a surprising editorial tone from many of the dailies. These army generals were such key players in the power regime that many are quite surprised that has been such an easy transition. And that sense of ease is something that's picked up by a piece in The Guardian, an opinion piece by Isandar Al-Amrani, who's a Middle East analyst, who says that this alliance potentially between the military and the ruling Islamist body could be quite a chilling prospect for the region. Doesn't go into too much detail about why it's a chilling prospect, but he says that the next couple of days are going to be really crucial to see how President Mohamed Morsi can balance appealing to so many different groups, the voters, the revolutionaries, the military, and indeed his own party.
But many people saying that reshuffle couldn't have happened without the consent of the army, so it is interesting to see the power balance at play. Now we're going to move to Europe and the fire in the Canary Islands, making the front page of Spanish daily El País.
Yes, a dramatic photograph there of that fire blazing in the Canary Islands. An interesting editorial piece within the paper itself, saying this is such a human tragedy. These million-years-old forests sort of burning now for days, and in fact pointing a finger of blame towards the authorities for not doing enough to clear the dry woodland, and then perhaps caused these fires in such a dry summer.
Of course, a UNESCO World Heritage Site there as well. That brings us to the end of In the Papers. Many thanks to Caterina Vitozzi, our press reviewer. Stay with us here on France 24.